Good evening to you all from wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the beautiful Spa-Francorchamps circuit here in Belgium. We are back for FRL Season 3 Tier 1 and it is looking to be a good race today. We got some drivers making their debuts such as Darren, I believe, is the only one in 11th position right now, and we got some drivers making their return to the series, one of those being Fridolf the Finn. He's not raced since Spain this season, which was, I believe, the second or so race. Now he is back and he is in that Red Bull, hoping to have a good impact on this race today. One of my personal favourite tracks, Spa-Francorchamps, 7 kilometres long, that's about 4.3 miles, 44 race laps normally, but today we are running 50%, so in terms of laps it is 22 races. Let's have a look. Most of the time you are at 70% throttle, and the longest flat out section is 215 meters. That is the Kemmel Straight, one of the two DRS zones, the other zone being the pit straight, heading down into La Source as we are getting ready for qualifying. We are just going to fit best lap. And who is the first driver out on track? Well, it looks like it is PMP Lewis is the first one. I didn't actually notice this. PMP Pat is another driver making his debut, so we have two drivers debuting today. Dropjers also back in that Toro Rosso car. So PMP Louis is just heading through Pouon right now, very fast, pretty much flat out corner, left-hander. You don't want to get too aggressive on the curb because you will be sent spinning now through this short SS section. He's just warming up those tyres, not using any of his ERS as of yet. He's got a... Is that Jordan? No, it looks to be Joost, who is our championship leader. Let's have a rundown of our standings today. So currently leading the championship is of course IGK Joost, but he struggled last race, only taking P4, so he's off the podium for the first time since Canada. Gil, his championship rival, won the race and brought the gap down to 10 points, as now it looks like Jordan Joost is going to be the first one to set a lap, so he's going to put down the benchmark. Is heading into the tight braking zone of La Source, the hairpin first corner, certainly a place for overtakes, and looks like Jordan times it perfectly to give his teammate the slipstream up the Kemmel Straight, one of the most infamous corners now. Radion, flat out corner, of course, the site of a horrible incident in Belgium in F2. Antoine Hubert sadly lost his life, so this race in memory of him, we're on board with IGK Joost. His teammate swings out of the way to let him continue his race lap. Very neat through here, as now he heads up towards turn 8 in that Mercedes powered Williams. Joost has had ups and downs this season, but it's mostly been plain sailing for him. He's taken 5 wins this season. Compare that to his championship rival Joost, who's only taken 10.5 points separate them. Their nearest rival, being Ginger, is 71 points off of Joost, so these two have run away with the championship. He's about to cross into the start of the third sector. What's his sector time going to be here? It's going to be 14.4. Looks to be impressive, as now into Blanchimont, completely flat out, use all the ERS you can and head into the bus stop chicane. It's one of the most contrasting corners you will find. This looks to be a strong showing from Joost on this lap, particularly as we go on board with him through the bus stop chicane, and we're gonna quickly shift over to PMP Louis once he sets his time. It's gonna be a 42.5, very strong from him. Where's Louis gonna go? He's gonna do a 44.1, which isn't tantalizing from him. Then Terror Racer goes third, immediately overtaken by Flip Flop Fish. They're both in 1 minute 43s. BRT Chapelele, who was really strong throughout the last race, can only take P2 4/10 behind IGK Joost, and Bjorn is going to go 5th place. Jordi is gunning at the rear at the moment with a 44.3, as Ginger goes 6th behind IGK Joost, who just set the purple second sector, getting out of the way of any cars who might be behind him. Doesn't look like that to me though, as doesn't look like there was any around him. Who's the next driver? Is that Khan? to be the next one to cross the line. It is going to be Khan. What's he going to do? He's going to do a 1 minute 43.8, so that puts him 8th fastest, ahead of PMP Louis Purple through the final sector, as that was Michalizzi just going 8th place with a 1:43.5, just about under a second of IGK Joost, who was the first man to set his time, and now he has gone quickest right now. Let's find Jordan Polska, VRT's newest signing, the teammate of IGK Joost. He's not had the best luck this season, but he's certainly shown that he is one to look out for any race win, as he goes purple through the second sector. He's only won, I believe, twice this season, that being at Bahrain and at Spain. As now we go on board with the Williams car. He's just about using all of his ERS he can, and Darren's been disqualified for being parked in a dangerous location in that Renault car. Nevertheless, Jordan's going to cross the line and beat out his teammate by a matter of 2/10. The gaps in these cars are absolutely insane. You think about how quick a second passes. It's just passed right now. Think of that, but divided by so much. So the gaps in Formula 1 is unbelievable. Like, literal thousandths of a second can make so much of a difference. As we're going to follow on board with the McLaren of Polino Bros, who's also not had the best of luck. He's not attended as many races as he possibly could, but he's shown he has decent enough pace. We're going to have a look where he is in the standings. He currently sits in 11th position. He's had various high scoring positions, but he's not scored a point since Britain, which of course was the half points race that the safety car caused, and he comes into the pit lane. I believe Dropshire is the next one to cross the line. He's still pushing on this lap. He's going to come through the final corner to set his lap time in a high ERS mix. He's going to go 4th fastest, but that is still 5/10 off of Jordan, and of course Joost being in second. So currently the Williams are locking out row 1. So far we just about have 10 minutes to go, so about 7.5 minutes gone through this session already. I don't know who's on a lap at the moment. Fridolf's on an out lap. He's not set a lap. Neither has Pat or Polino or VRT Timon, who's actually just started one. We'll follow on along with him as he starts his lap. Currently going to pick up a slipstream from his teammate Alan Vore, who's on an out lap. Going to have to back out the way right at the very end. That's almost identical to Joost and Jordan. He's going to go purple through the first sector. Is the Racing Point car. Racing Point have had good results here in the past. Of course, their first result in 2018, where they locked out row 2 and 3. They locked out row 2 with Ocon in 3rd and Perez in 4th place. Of course, that was Racing Point's actual first race, because if you don't remember, over the summer break the Force India team went bankrupt. If we're considering this to be one entity, they've had their issues in the past in real life. Of course, in 2017, both Force India cars made contact, ruining their races effectively, and Timon has gone purple through the second sector as well. So this is looking to be a very, very good lap from the Racing Point car. Can he maybe intercept the Williams drivers, or even get ahead of Jordan? He has to be a 1:42.552 to put it on pole, as Darren is his AI car is making its way back to the pit lane, as he's gonna come along the pit straight to cross the line. 3rd fastest, 3/10 off of Jordan. BRT making an impression on this race. They are currently 1st, 3rd and 4th. Vortex Racing Team showing that their drivers have got pace to spare. As who is the next one to set a lap? It should be Fridolf, who's not lit the track up through the second sector. Not looking to be promising on in terms of troubling the top 10, but nevertheless the Red Bull driver's going to continue to push in that number 14 car, and he's actually going to pull into the pit lane. That's a shame. Who's next? I believe it's Flip Flop Fish to cross the line next, but he's starting a lap. Is this Gil on a lap at the moment? No, it is Khan on an out lap. Trying to find who's on a lap right now. It's P&B Pat, and he's done a pretty decent job through the second sector. This could maybe see him getting in between second place in the championship. Gil, no, around about there it seems, as now he brakes heavily into the bus stop chicane, putting it down into second gear and opening it up onto the pit straight. What's he going to do? He's going to go fourth fastest, so he did better than even I expected. Very competitive from P&P Pat there. As I believe Mikulitsi is next. No, he's just crossed the line to start a lap. So it looks to be a Toro Rosso of P&P. Oh yeah, P&P Louis. He just went 13th fastest. As was that Ginger or Terra crossing the line? That was Terra, and he went slower on that lap. And I can't keep up with everything, as now Alan Vore goes quicker than anyone else. That's a very strong time from the Racing Point driver. He gets ahead, as now I believe that was Chapelet. No, it was Timon, I think. No, who just set a lap? Was it? Oh, it was Ginger. Ginger just set a lap. He got ahead of Dropja in the Toro Rosso car, that Ferrari powered Alfa Romeo, performing pretty well actually. 7th and 10th, but neither of these drivers are in the championship hunt at the moment. As who is next? This is Flip Flop Fish to cross the line. Lex, he's just about 1.5 tenths up on his time. How is he going to improve though? He's going to cross the line and he's going to remain in 9th place, but he improves his time, so that helps him, I guess, as Dropja's just started a lap. Apparently went purple, as now Khan goes 12th fastest in the Haas car. 6 minutes to go, so the drivers in the pits will be waiting for the time being to fit on a new set of tyres and hopefully get out to set their laps on a dry track completely. It looks like other drivers are about to finish their second push laps. Is it Louis next? It is Louis next, but he seems to be a lot slower on this lap, so it is Jordan to complete the next lap. He's not going to improve. What about Yost? He's not pushing, so we're going to go back down to Blue Racer, who's not set a lap. Okay, it was not Blue Racer. It was Palino Bros. Who's next across the line? Is it? I think it might be Terra Racer. He's pulling into the pit lane, so it looks like this wave of laps is complete and drivers are going to be rushing back to the pits to fit on a new set of tyres and put in a lap time. Let's follow along with the McLaren driver of Blue Race. Has not had the best of seasons, but he's been learning to drive with no tractor control, so I commend him for that. He's just come out of La Source, now onto the longest straight up Eau Rouge and through Radion. He flies at full throttle, not lifting off at all, opening the DRS on towards the Kemmel Straight, where you can expect speeds of almost about 330 kilometers per hour. That roughly goes to about 210, I'd say. I think Drop just completed a lap, and that was strong from him, going 5th place, getting ahead of P&P Pat. But we are currently on board with the McLaren driver of Blue Racer 7, still pushing. He's not got much ERS to spare. He invalidated his lap previously, is now coming through Pouon. Oh, he almost went about out too wide, and that would have invalidated his lap time again, which would have had to have put him back into the pit lane, because he is riding on not much fuel at the moment, running now through into the 3rd sector. Where is he gonna, what's his lap time looking like? 17.0, that's not good currently. As through Blanchimont comes the McLaren driver, getting onto the grass just a little bit. You want to avoid this curve, because if you touch that curve you're going into the inside wall. As through braking at the 100-meter board exactly into the bus stop chicane, is coming into the pits. We followed all that for nothing, but I think Fredolf, who's invalidated this lap, That's really annoying, actually. I was following that lap for a long time. Gil was on an out lap. He's going to be the first one to set the final waves of laps. So we'd have to look out for him. But is anyone on a lap? Definitively at the moment. Paulino Bros, who he didn't actually catch, has gone 4th fastest. Dodger's on his in lap, it seems. I don't think he's going to have time, actually, to get back to the pits and set another lap, but he's going to have to be quick if he wants to, as the closest driver to the line at the moment is Jordan Polska in the Williams car, winner of the Bahrain Grand Prix. That was 2 races ago. As I think someone's dropped it at Puon. That looks to have been P&P Louis, but he's kept the car under control and hopefully he's got no wing damage. Doesn't look like it from my point of view here in the commentary box. Let's have a look at how Gil's lap is going. He's currently a 10th up through the first sector, catching the curve just a little bit there into turn 8 now. I forgot what it was called, but now breaking down into 4th gear, putting it down into 4th here, up to the no-name corner, and now coming in to Puon. Flip-flop fish is going to retire just out of turn 7. I do apologise about my commentary today, because it's not going to be as good as you might want, because my voice is hurting just a little bit. I'm not sure why, but yeah. Gil has gone purple through the 2nd sector, but that still won't be enough. He's only 2 tenths up on this lap, which can put him to about 10th position, which is not where Lars driver wants to go. Maybe he made a mistake elsewhere on the lap in the 3rd sector, so he's gonna come through the bus stop chicane to cross the line. Where's he going to put that Haas car? 2nd in the standings. He's going to go 7th on the grid currently, and that could be his qualifying effectively over. And so who is the next one to cross the line? Is that Chapelele? Yes, it is. I think it is VRT Jordan to next come across the line. Will he be able to put that Williams car back on pole position, or will he fall victim to his fellow Dutchman rival of Alan Voor, who is, I believe, on a lap in the 3rd sector at the moment. So he's going to cross the line. He's going to go quickest. Let's actually see where Alan Voor is. He's in the 3rd sector, but he's invalidated this lap. He should be able to get back and start again, as now all the outlaps seem to be coming to their close. Chapelele's just started on a lap, and I will be watching the timing tower. Alan Voor's not actually going to push. Or he is, but he seems to have gone pretty slow across the line, which is not good. Qualifying is now over, so Paulino Bros and Dropcher could not get to the line in time, and their qualifying is over. The next one to cross the line, I believe, is P&P Louis, who is 4 tenths up on his time. He's currently last out the drivers who have set laps. He comes through the bus stop chicane, the final 2 corners. Where's he going to put that Toro? So only 15th place. Not tantalising enough from him, not quick enough at all. 3 tenths up on his time is Terror Racer. This could see him shoot up maybe into the top 10. He's going to go 11th place, so he's behind his teammate, who's going to retire on track at Puon. So that is 10th and 11th provisionally for the oh crap, okay, I've gone into someone's bio. That's really annoying. Geordie was going to oh come on, I've done it again, man. Flip flop, man, I hate your profile. Don't want to see it. Who's next? I think it's Joost to cross the line next. This should be a good one, because we don't know how his lap is coming along, but he seems to still be pushing, so he could have the pace in that Williams. Where's he going to go? He's going to go quickest with a 1:42.1. That is a great lap in that Williams car, and the balance has been restored, as that looks to be the starting grid. But Michalizzi still is improving on this lap slightly. He's going to go 10th quickest. Where's Bjorn going to go? Bjorn's not going to think he went about 12th or 13th. Where's he going to go? He's going to go 13th position. So that is qualifying over. Wow. That was tough to keep my voice in order. It's hurting a little bit today. So Joost is on pole today with a 1:42.1. His teammate VRT John goes 2 tenths behind him in second place. Alan Vore is going to go third place with VRT Timon in fourth position. Then Polino Bros hoping to get back on the scoring sheet. He goes fifth place. PMP Pat is going to go sixth on his debut, and now in his returning race, Drops is going to go seventh. Eighth championship rival for Joost, only in eighth position is Gil Chapelele is ninth, and then 10th is Miku Litsi. And I will be back in just one moment. Appreciate your patience as we are getting ready for the formation lap, and they are appearing out of nowhere from the Shadow Realm. So it's Joost looking to extend his championship lead today. He's got 10.5 points up. He is 10.5 points up on Gil, and this could be his opportunity to get out of that 1-win range of him. Two drivers who didn't set laps are Blue Racer and Fridolf the Finn. They're going to have fresh tyres, everyone from 11th downwards, so that's Ginger all the way down to Blue Racer. 19 cars on the grid. I think Darren is not racing today. It was a full grid in tier 2. I wonder actually how that race is going, but I'm not going to have a look at it for the moment. They are just currently rounding out their formation lap. Pole position is on the right hand side of the grid, so he's going to have to hold the inside line. Is Joost into turn number 1. Hopefully everyone can keep their noses out of trouble and keep it safe and clean. Only 22 laps. This is a definitive soft to medium track. The tyres are benefited here, really. You can go on quicker tyres. You don't need to touch the hards. Even the mediums could probably do the entire race if you gave them the ability to. But yeah, this is a definitive soft to medium strategy, and I'm actually just going to change all this. You can see the only two drivers opting for the mediums are LR Bjorn 75 and Fridolf the Finn in the Renault and Red Bull respectively, as now you line up on the grid to start the Belgian Grand Prix in a moment's time, when Blue Racer is the last driver to bring that McLaren into its grid spot. I really love the sleek design of these cars nowadays. You know, they used to be a lot more blocky, but now they're a lot more streamlined. They look faster, and that's what I love. As now we are just about getting ready to start the Grand Prix. Okay, this is not the view I want to start the race from. There we go. So The lights are out and we are underway. Who has got the better start? It looks to be like Joost has had a commanding start into turn number 1. They come now. Who is going to take any positions? They're 3 wide between the McLaren Racing Point and Mercedes. They make a little bit of contact. As now all up into Eau Rouge they fly. They're still 3 abreast. This is going to be crazy if they hold it side by side. Gil and Dropja make a little bit of contact. Is anyone going to fall victim to Radion? Doesn't look like. Here we are on board with Khan, who's lost positions. This is a beautiful view to look at here. Is now Drop just taking a 5-second time penalty already. No casualties into the second sector, which is what we love to see. As let's have a look at the top again. It actually seems that Jordan has got ahead of his teammate, and now Alan Vore is pressuring Joost into turn number 8, now into the no-name corner of turn number 9. Chapelele, oh Chapelele and Dropja have made contact, and they are both round, and Dropja's out of the race. And it looks like Chapelele had a snap of oversteer, and now the safety car is out for the Toro Rosso casualty. But the sister teams have collided here in the second sector, and we have a safety car on lap number 1. It looked to be clean all the way around, but I have to give the blame to Chapelele there, because he just seemed to have turned in on Dropja after he got a big amount of oversteer. Who are the main movers at the top? And so the top drivers who have made up positions are Gil, Ginger and Terra. Oh, that is really good. From the Alfa Romeo pairing, they've moved up 5 positions each and are now running 6th and 7th on fresh tyres nonetheless, because they started in 11th and 12th. So will anyone pull into the pits? No, yeah, they are going to pull into the pits. So Jordan and Joost are going to double stack here, and Joost is going to back off as much as he can. Alan Vore has also come into the pits. So now Gil leads the way in the Haas F1 car. He started in P7. Now he moves up into first. Bjorn and Fridolf have been benefited by this a lot, because they can go, their medium tyres can go longer into the race, which will mean their soft tyres at the end of it will be a lot quicker, and also they don't need to pit now, as Chapelele has retired from the session. He's left now in the pit lane, so that's what you should do, as the pit stops have actually shaken up the order a lot here, and it looks to be a split strategy for a lot of these drivers. Khan and Blue and Patrick and not Patrick, just Pat and Geordie have all swapped onto the hard tyres, presumably to go to the end, but drivers like Jordan, Allen, Ginger's an odd one to come into the pits, because his tyres were completely fresh. He could have gone longer into this race. His tyres would have been quicker than the drivers who stayed out, like Terra Racer. Terra Racer should actually be the quickest driver on track, because he has a fresh, well actually Paulino Bros and himself will be pretty much level on pace, because their tyres are so similarly matched. Paulino Bros oddly actually came in for soft tyres, which is a weird one to go with, because they can't go to the end, I don't think. Oh, I've just spilled water all over myself. God damn it. No. That's why you can't drink water whilst you're lying down. God damn it. Hopefully Paulino Bros can catch up in due course. Doesn't look like the safety car will pull in around this lap, because normally at this point the race control would confirm that the safety car is coming in at the end of the lap. But no, not for this time, not for the time being. I think it's because Paulino Bros was a little bit too far behind. So in all of that chaos, Gil leads the Grand Prix, Terra Racer in second, Bjorn is in third. That's your top 3. Then Fridolf, from one of the last positions on the grid, takes up P4. Jordan, who was leading this Grand Prix, is now in 5th, so that means 4 drivers in total seem to have stayed out here. 2 retirements at the end of lap 1, those being the drivers involved in the incident that brought out the safety car, being Chapelele and Dropja. Chapelele's just not had the luck this season. He could be so much higher up in the points, but unfortunately he's been involved in so many incidences. He was leading the Monaco Grand Prix, then he had issues throughout that, and that put him down the order, and I think he was in an AI car. I'm having a look at some of these stats, and I think they're actually configured for 2013, which is not what we want to have. Here we are. We can have some Belgian Grand Prix facts. Of course, this track used to be a lot longer. We had corners like Burnville, Malmedy, Masters, Dalivor, La Carrière, but they've all changed that now, and we've got this shorter configuration. It was a really, really long track, to be honest. I'm gonna learn these corners. Rivage. Okay, Rivage is turn 8, so I'll start calling it that. What about other corners? Fanyas. Okay, Fanyas. Great. Fanyas for turn 13 and 12 and 14. That's nice to know. The old track was about 14 kilometers long, which is actually around public roads, mainly public roads, and its inaugural race was in 1950, where Juan Manuel Fangio won the Grand Prix. Then Spa remained on the calendar until the late 60s, but the facilities weren't common, and drivers began voicing their concerns on racing at such a dangerous track. I'm actually just reading this off of a website on my phone, but now the safety car is coming in this lap. Race control have confirmed it, so now Gil will be controlling the pace on 2-lap-old soft tyres. He's going to be the one to control the field here. Control at the race start. It doesn't look like any rain will come for the time being, but it is grey skies out, as now we follow along with the Haas driver in the 93 car, the American team. Then he's followed by Terra Racer, who's trying to look up the inside. Gil's gonna bite the bullet now and pull away from Terra Racer. He's had a much better exit there, as now we are green flag racing once more. Is there any positions going to be made up into turn number 1? That is La Source, of course. We're on board with Timon, who's not at the best of starts, as Flip Flop Fish dives down the inside of Khan, and Flip Flop has tapped the rear of Timon, and that has sent him in a little spin there. And so Timon is down into 17th position. Really unlucky for him once again. And I'm just trying to get back up. There we are. Alright, let's go back on board with Terra Racer, trying to defend from Bjorn, who is in 2nd position on medium tyres. His tyres will be gaining in performance compared to Terra's. Now there's a battle going on between PMP teammates. I don't know why I've got this set to fastest lap. There we go. Let's have a look at Blue Racer. He is watching a battle between Geordie, Louis and Pat right now. They go side by side into turn number 9 on the run up to Pouon. This is for a battle for 10th position. Who's got the bigger balls coming into Pouon? Louis gonna go completely off the track to defend the position, and that was naughty from the Toro Rosso driver. Of Blue Racers gained a lot of this through Fania. They come now, as all day you could put a cigarette paper between those two, and all Geordie's gonna back out of that. Now into turn number 14, Blue Racer and himself almost make contact. Geordie's gone into the gravel, and that has killed his momentum completely. He drops down into 13th position. That was a great battle while it lasted, though, on board with the Mercedes car of Michelizi, trying to make a position up on Geordie and Khan racing right now. Through Blanchimont, they fly at max speed they can at the moment. Through now into the bus stop chicane, and they have kept that nice and tidy there. We are back on board with the top drivers in the points, as it looks like Ginger's going to go up the inside. No, he does not make the send into turn number 1, as DRS soon should be enabled, but Fridolf the Finn has lost positions already to Alan Vore. And now, there's a yellow flag. I think Michelizi's had a little running in with someone. He's come so slow out of that corner, only 100 kilometers per hour. It's almost about half what he should be doing. There's now, let's go back on board with Bjorn here. He's just been overtaken by the race leader currently, provisionally. He's the net race leader in terms of pit stops because Terra Racer and Gil have not come into the pits as of yet. He's just overtaken the Renault of Bjorn, who didn't have a strong race last time out in Monaco. He was in the Mercedes. Now today he is in his favoured Renault. Let's go on board with Joost, who's at the tail end of this train for 3rd position. He is following behind the Alfa Romeo of the Ginger 21-21, who was having a very strong season last time out. He's in 3rd here, and he's lost ground to Gil and Joost by quite a substantial amount. He's 70 points behind behind Joost. He's about 60 points behind Gil at the moment, as now Bjorn has been overtaken by the Racing Point of Alan Vore through Blanchimont. He's saving all of his ERS. He's going to send it up the inside into the bus stop. No, it does not look like it. We're going to go on board with the Alfa Romeo of Fridolf, and now DRS has been enabled. This is going to allow for drivers to reduce their drag and increase their top speed by an even greater amount, which is going to make overtakes on the Camel Straight a lot easier. 2 DRS zones on this track because there's only really 2 places they can do it. That is the pit straight and the Camel Straight. They are followed in tandem, linked up by turn 1, 2 and 3. Through Radion comes Ginger 21-21 up to Fridolf the Finn, opening DRS, which a luxury that is shared by all 3 drivers who are fighting right now, as Joost is trying to force his way through and is basically bump drafting Fridolf through there, but Fridolf is going to lose positions to both of these drivers pretty commandingly, as it looks like Pat has caught up to this train as well. He's trying to take a slice out of the Fridolf sandwich, who's been tumbling down the order like a rock, sunk down the order like a pebble in a pool. I can't think of any more phrases for that. Terra Racers lost P2 to Jordan Polska, who's moved up into 2nd position. 4-lap-old mediums compared to 5-lap-old softs. Running into the gravel is Terra Racer. Lap 6 of the Belgian Grand Prix, very short, 22 laps. You're looking to set maybe 1 minute 46s consistently if you want to have a decent race. Maybe a little bit less than that, but I don't know, as it looks like gaps have begun to even out pretty solidly. We're on board with championship leader Joost challenging Ginger at the moment, looking at the rear ring of the Alfa Romeo in that Williams car. DRS enabled for him, a luxury not shared by Ginger, so the difference in pace at the straight is going to be a lot more. He's not going to make a move into La Source, and I think Bjorn's had a pretty bad run through La Source, as now Ginger's going to be able to take DRS, which will enable him to defend a lot easier from the Williams cars. Now up onto the Camel Straight after Radion. He's going to enable DRS, and it does not look like he's going to be close enough. That DRS assistance for Ginger's helped him so much more. We have yellow flags in the first sector. I think that was from Geordie. He might have had an incident up through Radion, as now there's a battle going on between Palino Bros and Khan Racing for only 12th position into Rivage. Comes the McLaren. Khan cannot compete with his superior package in the Renault powered McLaren compared to Ferrari powered Haas. If you're a fan of FRL racing, which I know I am, you would know that last time out there was an incredible crash. It was a wet race for Tier 1, and that saw many drivers out of the Grand Prix. One of those was Michalizzi, who's just gotten past the Ferrari of Geordie, who runs into the gravel. Is he going to be out? Yes, Geordie is out of this Grand Prix, and the safety car is out once again on lap number 7. He got caught in the gravel, and the back end was gone on that Ferrari car, and now the safety car is back out on lap number 7, and that's going to invite Gil and Terra Racer, giving them a free pit stop to come into the pit lane to fit on a set of medium tyres to go to the end of the race. This was about their pit window, to be honest, at this point, as a lot of other drivers are going to come into the pits. So Gill's going to file out in about 7th position. And yeah, oh, he's just come out behind Blue Racer, who's on hard tyres, so the difference in pace is going to be massive as a safety car collects the now true race leader of Jordan, leading Alan Vore, then leading Bjorn, who is not pitted yet in this Grand Prix. He's going to wait to the end of the race to fit on a set of soft tyres to be quicker than anyone else on a rubbered in Belgian Grand Prix circuit. I love this track so much. It makes for the best races. We're 7 laps into the Grand Prix. We've already had 2 safety cars and plenty of battles. I hope that this continues for the rest of the Grand Prix, because that makes my commentary job just a lot more, that much more beautiful to enjoy. It said on the timing tower that Yost got past Pat. I think Pat might have misjudged his braking marker and he went ahead of him, but that's all I know. Interestingly enough, Fridolf has fitted the hard tyres, which is strange because mediums could easily go to the end from this point, so he's maybe, I don't know what he's doing, to be honest with you. Can we see the safety car come in next lap? Oh, Fridolf's taking a 5-second time penalty for collision with Palino Bros, but they seem really far apart. I did notice a little bit of a move forwards as Palino Bros also takes a time penalty. Does not look like the safety car is going to come in. So you know what time it is? It is time for some Belgian Grand Prix general knowledge. When it was not at Spa, it was at tracks like Zolder and Nivelles up until 1983, when the revised track was brought in at 7 kilometers. It was halved. And there was only 2 races in this time where it was not held at Spa in the 2000s, which is strange. But yeah, this track has been, I just love this track so much. This of course makes for some of the best overtakes as well. Bjorn's actually going to come into the pits, interestingly enough, and so is Palino Bros. I don't know what those two are doing. They might have taken some wing damage as we come on to begin lap number 9. Some infamous overtakes, I think. Well, of course, there's Hakkinen overtaking Schumacher. They both went around Ricardo Zonta at Les Combes. That is the corner at the end of the Kemmel Straight. What else? It was a lovely overtake. Well, we've had Charles Leclerc winning his first ever Grand Prix here in a commanding performance in 2019. And it was a tough race for everyone, given the circumstances. Smoking Bandits joined, so he's looking to spectate this Grand Prix. So I probably will see Finley as well, actually, come into the session. One notorious crash was 2012. The first corner pile-up, which actually saw Romain Grosjean make contact with Lewis Hamilton. That sent the Lotus car over the top of the Ferrari. Fernando Alonso, who's had his fair share of crashes at this track. He was, of course, sent over the top of the Sauber of Charles Leclerc in 2018 after Nico Hulkenberg locked the tyres. That was a pretty chaotic race as well. Soon the safety car will come in. What else happened? Alright, let's have some fun facts. There is a 35 meter elevation from the lowest point of Eau Rouge to the highest point of Radion. That's a lot. That is a lot. In 2019, Charles Leclerc became the first driver to score a maiden victory at Spa since Michael Schumacher, who did so in 1992. And wow, Fernando Alonso never won a Grand Prix here. Yeah, I did call it. Finley would join the session. Despite being the longest track, it actually has the smallest capacity for fans at 70,000. And of course, this track holds many other events, of course, Spa 24 hours and the 6 hours of Spa-Francorchamps. One thing I do want to talk about is 1998, as Race Control have confirmed that the safety car will come in. So I won't go into 1998 where they had the massive first corner pile up, as Jordan is going to control the field. Safety cars come in this lap. I actually got sidetracked in my F1 stats, but here we go. We are underway, racing in lap number 10. 12 laps to go in this Belgian Grand Prix. Who's going to make any moves into turn number 1? That is La Source. Doesn't look like it from this angle. Are they going to go side by side up Eau Rouge? No. Is anyone going to fall victim here? Oh, Blue Racer's running very deep, and he actually takes a 3-second time penalty, so I did catch that. There's now, oh, this is Joost trying to go around the outside into Les Combes of Alan Voigt. He does not make any moves stick there, but that would have been really nice to have seen to make it a Williams 1-2. Something they've not seen since Bahrain, I think. I think they had a really good battle in Bahrain, as Ginger and PMP Louis go side by side into Ravage, and now Louis going to give a little bit of a love tap to the Alfa Romeo, who moves his way up into P9. He's got his teammate of Terror Racer just up ahead of him, as I think Bjorn, who's gone onto the softs to go to the end. That's actually a bold decision to make there, but he's going to be rapid at this moment in time, as I think Guild looking to get past Patrick. Well, he was only 2/10 behind the Mercedes, who's on 8-lap-old hards compared to 2-lap-old mediums. The difference in pace is going to be monumental through the corners. Up to Blanchimont they fly, blitzing it. Full ERS, he's in overtake mode. He's probably using Rich Mixture too. Is he going to make a move into the bus stop chicane? It would be a very audacious one to make. He's going to go later on the brakes. Could be forcing Pat into a mistake, but he does not make any move stick there, and he's going to remain in P5, letting the Mercedes live to fight another day. But he is like a snake. He's never going to give up. He's going to be hissing on in the background, just pressuring Pat into making a mistake at one point, as Joost could have another crack at the Alan Voigt egg. I don't know where I'm coming up with all these phrases, but Alan Voigt, he's lost slipstream touch with Jordan, who's leading this Grand Prix. Alan Voigt trying to hold on for his life, but he's not using any ERS here, as he's going to maintain that position for now. Blue Race has been overtaken by VRT Time, and he moves up into 6th place. There's a little bit of a gaggle going on at the back. I think Michelizi's just gotten ahead of Khan Racer there. Is there any other action on the track? Well, let's go on board with Ginger here, who's caught up to the back of his teammate, who's also caught up to the back of Blue Racer, who's on the hard tyres into P1. You brake into the corner, but then you put it full throttle flat out through here up into 7th gear. You don't really want to rev the car too much, but you also don't want to go into 8th gear, so I normally keep it in 7th when I fly through here, as Terror Racer actually looks to be the quicker one at the moment and more likely to overtake Blue Racer, who is feeling the pressure of the Alfa Romeo. He almost put it in the wall, but he went off the track, as now Blue Racer's almost going to let Terror Racer take the inside into Blanchimont. Can he go flat out through here? Just about avoiding each other, and that was a great overtake, as now Ginger's maybe going to look to the outside, and he's going to maybe go down the inside. Oh, they almost make contact. They do make contact, and Ginger takes a 5-second time penalty for exceeding track limits, and now he switches over to almost hit Louis, it looks like, who's going to brake into turn number 1, try and make a switchback move on the Alfa Romeo. He's earlier on the throttle, but he does not make anything switch. He goes right into the back of the Alfa Romeo car, and now this is the difference here. Alan Voigt and Joost are both going to have DRS assistance on VRT Jordan, so these two are going to be even closer through here. Oh, look at that. Alan Voigt gets very close to the rear wing of the Williams cars. Oh no, there's been contact. Ginger's been spun around at Les Combes by PMP Louis. They made contact. Maybe Ginger could have left a little more room from what I saw, but I don't know what happened there, as he's been sent spinning, and his run of bad luck just continues, and it's heartbreaking to see, because he could be in the championship fight, to be honest. But bad luck has plagued him this season. He is now down in 16th position and last of the running cars. This is the fight for the lead between Jordan Alanvor and Joost. As our yellow flags, I think that is Khan. Spun around at Pouon. We're not going to look at that, as now through Blanchimont. And this trio have become closer and closer as the laps have gone on. We just about have 10 laps remaining in this Grand Prix. The end is near, well, nearing, but it's not near yet. We still have plenty of action left in stores now. With DRS on the pit straight, we're following on board with the Williams car. Not close enough to make an overtake into turn number 1. There's Gil still pressuring the oh, there's been an incident at the pit lane, and wow, Louis been disqualified from the session for blocking the pit lane. Gil still pressurizing the Mercedes, but we're gonna look back at no, I don't think he's close enough. He looks to be closing in on the Williams car, but it's not enough, as now up the inside into Lecom, Gil makes the overtake easily. No, not easily. Patrick's making it really hard for him. He's going to hold him in the around the outside, and that switches to the inside for Gil to take P4 in this race. His championship rival is just up ahead of him. He took a time penalty there. He's been on these tyres since the very first safety car, so they're going to be pushing them to the absolute limit at this point. They're looking to go 20 laps in this Grand Prix on the same set of medium tyres. It's doable, but it's going to be make or break for them, really, if they can conserve the tyres and go right to the end. Let's have a little breather, because it's been an intense race so far. Ginger's just about closing up to the back of the fin of Michalizzi. Both Finnish drivers on the grid being Fridolf and Michalizzi. Oh, a little bit of contact. I think Michalizzi's lagging out a little bit here. He's really, there's a difference in pace between Ginger and himself, as through turn 15 there, through turn 15, Ginger's gonna have an audacious overtake, but that is P12 for him, as Bjorn pressurizing in 10th position for Terra Racers 9th place. He's on the soft tyres. He's looking to pull these all the way to the end. He's been on these tyres for about 5 laps now, so since lap number 9. He's going to go longer on his soft stint than his medium stint, which is interesting to see, actually. His tyres are just about as old as Terra Racers are. They're in 9th and 10th respectively. Any points is good points for them, as now Alan Vore moves into the lead of the Grand Prix, and this is the fight now for the lead of the race. This is where it all heats up, but the race is still long. They don't want to make any stupid overtakes, as with DRS I think Alan Vore easily got the overtake done on Jordan. Joost almost goes right into the back of his teammate, but he looks to have kept it under control, and he just backs off ever so slightly. There's a little bit of a gap forming between Jordan and Alan Vore through Pouon. Louis left the session. He was disqualified for blocking the pit lane, which I don't know what he did, but looks to be bad. And now Gil has entered the fight for the lead of the Grand Prix. I think we might have to just stick with this for almost the rest of the race, because this is looking absolutely beautiful. Pat's in the background too. He's within DRS range of Gil. He's had a tremendous debut Grand Prix. Who's the other debutant? Oh, it was Darren, but Darren got disqualified in qualifying and then he left. No DRS through Blanchimont because you're turning, so it's pretty dangerous if DRS was enabled. Through the bus stop chicane, very slow corners. You're looking to go about 70 kilometers per hour through there, opening it up onto the pit straight into the source. An opportunity awakens for Jordan, but he's not going to follow through with it, as now Flip Flop Fish in 7th position sets the fastest lap on 7-lap-old medium. So it's actually pretty strong pace from him there, as this is going to be a slaughter for Alan Vore. Oh, losing the back end is Joost through there. This is going to be fun, as now with DRS, is this going to be a Schumacher-Hakkinen-esque move? Alan Ball's going to defend to the inside. He's helpless to the Williams cars who have made contact, and championship leader Joost has been spun around and he's lost his front wing end plate. Oh, that's so sad to see. He's now going to drop into 10th position, and this will see a change in the championship standings. If it stays like this, Gil will assume championship leader role, which has been held by Joost for so long. He won the race in Monaco, which really brought down the gap, and now 1.1 seconds separate Gil Alan and Jordan. Alan falls in second place. He's really been turning up the heat in the last couple of races. Let's just see how this will actually affect the championship standings. I believe it's 10.5 points separating these two, and if it were to stay 15 compared to 1 point, I think it would be, if my maths is correct, 14 points between them. No, not 14 points, about 4 or 5.5 points between them, as now just about inside the DRS range of Jordan is Alan Ball, but Gil is even closer to the back of the Dutchman. And no overtake through La Source there. Doesn't actually look like anyone's really making any overtakes through there, as now Joost comes into the pits. So that is his race effectively ruined. This is the battle for second position. Look at how close he is to the BWT plastered rear wing of Alan Voors. Now they make a little bit of contact. He's going to have DRS on Jordan as they're still making contact. Alan Voors going to maintain P2 with assistance of DRS on Jordan, and that gap once again is going to come down. Let's have a little resting moment through this slower section of the track. I needed that water a lot, but now I need the toilet, so that's not good. But I will persist in this through here, as Bjorn is beginning to track down the back of Blue Racer, whose tyres are 14 laps old. And that's what I am worried about. Gil can definitely go to the end, but can Alan and Jordan? Their medium tyres are on 14 laps, and we just about have 8 laps. No, yeah, 8 laps to go in this Grand Prix. 6 laps to go in this Grand Prix. My maths isn't on its strongest form right now, as through Blanchimont comes the Ferrari-powered Haas car against the Mercedes-powered Racing Point. He could make a move around the outside into the bus stop chicane. Is he going to take the opportunity? He's going to brake later than Alan Voor there, who's going to leave him the space on the outside, and he's going to have to force his way through. Alan's gone off the track, as now looks to be P2 for Gil, but for how much longer is now these two battling will actually allow for Jordan to get out of DRS range, and now Gil won't have the assistance of DRS. So was it really worth it to make the overtake there, because now Alan Voor's going to have DRS on him, but Gil won't have DRS on Jordan, so he's going to be defenseless almost against the Racing Point cars. Now DRS is open. Jack and Jones, you can still see there. You can't see BWT from this angle because it is completely wiped out by the DRS, splitting that rear wing open and allowing for the airflow to go through the rear wing, decreasing downforce monumentally, as now Bjorn has made the move on on Blue Racer, moving his way up into 6th position. This has been a really strong drive from the Renault driver, coming from 13th position on the grid to now being in 6th place, and also a really strong drive from Blue Race, who's actually just dropped down into P7. And I think there's been an incident somewhere at Pouon. I don't know who's spun at Pouon. We're going to put that back on there, and we're going to go back on board with Gil, who's lost a little bit of time to Alan Voor, who's now back within the 1 second gap that you need to be able to activate DRS on the car ahead into the bus stop chicane for the 17th time this race. We've had 2 safety cars, no virtual safety cars 3 retirements and 1 disqualification. It's been a race worth commentating for. You'd have to get out your bed early to overtake Alan Vore, because he has made it hard enough for anyone today. We've seen that multiple times. A lot of contact has been made between these two. They've been swapping paint on the medium tyres. The difference of 6 laps is now Alan Vore defends to the inside, but Gil is going to breeze past him into Les Combes. That is P2 for Gil, which allows him to get an even stronger gap on Joost in this championship fight, who will take the lead of the championship unless Jordan can help it here. The gaps have begun to size out at the moment. Between the rest of the field, the only gap that is under a second is the gap between Fridolf and Ginger. That is, of course, not taking into consideration the battle for the lead, which about a second separates all of these drivers. Just about, actually. And now Alan Vore's losing the losing touch with Gil, he's closing up on Jordan here. Now brought it within a tenth. Is he gonna make the move? No. That was smart to not make an overtake into the bus stop chicane. With DRS, he's smart not to make an overtake into La Source, because he can have the assistance of DRS, the drag reduction system, through the Kemmel Straight. Alan Vore's also closing up to the gap. He's still got DRS, so don't count him out, because might be able to close the gap to Jordan as well. We go up the top of Radion. We see these cars come past at 320 kilometers per hour. DRS is enabled. He's in the slipstream of Jordan. Is he going to send one up the inside into Les Combes? No, he won't. Joost sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, but he's way down in 13th. He's not going to make an impact on this race at all, as now Jordan runs into the gravel ever so slightly. Now into Ravage, this slow long right-handed corner. You break down into second gear, and then you short shift up to around about 4th, as now with slipstream. No ERS at the moment. Michelitz's lagged out the session, it seems. He was having internet troubles, but now he looks to be out the Grand Prix definitively through Pouon. The gaps have never been so short. 2 tenths separate first and second, and now 2 tenths also separate second and third position. Timon has lost touch with these guys by quite a bit. I think Pat also had an incident somewhere, because he's way down in 12th, but he had a really strong performance. That's sad to see. He was way up in the points, as this looks to be a definitive move, and Michelizzi's going to come back into the session, trying to look to the outside of Jordan through the bus stop chicane. He brakes later, he goes for the move, a little bit of contact between rear wings, the wheels and the wing of Jordan's car, as now with DRS for neither of them, it seems. That's very strange to see. They might have been side by side completely through the detection zone, so this will be an easy overtake for Jordan, and it could be an easy move for Alan Vore on the French driver. We just about have 3 laps to go in this session. Michelizzi's really struggling at the moment. We're on board with the Racing Point car, who's going to be able to activate DRS now. Gil's going to defend to the inside, but is Jordan going to send it up the inside, or he's going to go around the outside into Les Combes? And that was a tidy move from Jordan, as that's switching to the inside, and that is back into the lead. Can he make it his 3rd win of the season? Gil's going to go up the inside into Ravage, but he runs really deep there. As this, he's still going side by side. This is an incredible battle into turn number 9. He makes the move stick on Jordan, and he defends P1 with all his might through Pouon. Now we're going to go back on board with Alan Vore. He's got the best view in the house for this amazing battle. I'm running out of superlatives here, because this is just so incredible to watch. This extraordinary battle but it looks to have come to an end at the moment. But for how much longer, as we come into the third sector? Michelizi's retired from the session. I don't think we can have any other safety car though, because we're just so close to the end of the Grand Prix, as just about a second separates the leaders at the moment. Had 4 retirements in this Grand Prix now. Shame for Michelizi, because he was in 10th in qualifying, so he was doing well. It's now with DRS. The rain has not graced the circuit today, unlike last weekend, which meant for carnage in that sense. Carnage it was indeed, and Bjorn might be losing out time as Blue Racer has been overtaken by Fridolf, I think. Yeah, this is the battle for 8th position. Is Blue Racer going to go around the outside? Ginger's also getting involved here. Into La Source around the outside of Fridolf the Finn. That was a really great overtake from Blue Racer there. He moves up into P8. We move back on board with the leaders, and I think Alanvor made a mistake up Radion, because he has fallen into the clutches of Flip Flop Fish. This is now the fight for 3rd position, as Timon's also involved here. They've lost, Bjorn has lost touch with the podium runners at the moment. He sits in 6th position on 12 lap old softs. He's made these tyres go for as long as they can, and I think the difference in pace was completely down to the tyres today, because Jordan and Alan's tyres surely have to be on the cliff, maybe about 60-70% of their completed life, which means they are almost in the puncture region. We just have almost 1 lap to go in this race, already out of the DRS range of Jordan is Gil, and this could be his 2nd win in a row, and making it 5 wins throughout this season. He has still got 1 more lap to go to make it set in stone. I don't know about penalties though. I really do not know. This could change everything, because he's within 3 seconds of 4th position at the moment. He goes quicker through that lap though, so that's very strong from him. As we start the final lap, he just has about 17 corners to navigate before he can win his 2nd race in a row. Provisionally up Radion for the final time, and now onto the Camel Straight for the 22nd and last time, using up all the ERS he can. He's basically run the engine dry. Every driver here has, except for Flip Flop, who seems to not be close enough at all to Alanvor to overtake him. I do apologise, as Joost takes a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That looks to be his race over. He's retiring from the session, and he's left no points for the championship leader. Gil just has to finish in 5th place or higher to take the championship lead. Actually, if he finishes in 5th, then Joost will be ahead by half a point, and that would be a tremendous gap to be ahead by. It's been tough to commentate over this one. My voice has been killing me today, but it's been okay for most of this race. But it's beginning to go after all my excitement has passed, as Paulina Bros is going to pull into. Never mind, he's just disconnected. So is Joost. Khan's going to be the last of the running drivers. We go back on board. We're watching the Haas car come into the penultimate corner of the bus stop chicane. He's just come out of Blanchimont, now into the final corner. He's had a very strong race, coming from 7th on the grid. He's gonna take the provisional win. Where's Jordan gonna take it? Is he gonna win? No, he won't. Alanvor's gonna stay in 3rd, 4th for Flip Flop, 5th for Timon. What about Bjorn? Is he gonna be able to fend off Terror Racer? Yes, he will, who finishes in P7. Who's gonna take P8? Will it be Ginger or Fridolf or Blue? Blue Racer takes P8. He'll take it. P8, I'll take it. As now Khan crosses the line. He is the last one to cross the line. My voice is gone. Okay. We are back. That was a great race to watch, as now Gil stands atop of the podium once again. That was an impressive drive to say the very least, as he wins the Grand Prix. Jordan takes another podium. He's in second position, Alan Boy in third. Fourth is Flip Flop Fish. That's a really strong performance from him, from 14th on the grid. Timon in 5th place. 6th place goes to Bjorn from 13th. Then 7th is Terra Racer, who's had a very strong showing out today. Pat, in his debut Grand Prix, takes 8th position, so Blue Racer will not take it. He is in P9 from 19th on the grid. That's strong from him. Fridolf is the last of the point scoring runners, as it is 11th for Khan, 12th for Ginger after a lot of penalties, and Joost in 13th. Last of the still running drivers was Palino Bros, and the 4 retirements today were Micheletti, Geordie F1, Chapelele and Dropjer, who both fell victim to their own incidents in the first lap, and we had 1 disqualification of PMP Louis. It is the end of the Belgian Grand Prix. That could actually be race of the season in FRL. Thank you all for watching me today. It's been a blast.